Hello, everyone.
Hello, everyone. Hi.
So we're just going live right now on Facebook, so give us a moment. Yeah, cool.
Here we go.
We're going to have such a good time together, so just hang in for a sec. Yay. Yay. We're going to talk all about body image and sexual confidence and how to really get out of your head
and into our bodies.
Your body.
Yes. Absolutely.
Awesome. Okay, so
there I am.
There you are, my love.
Great.
Okay. Bear with us.
Thank you, everyone, for waiting. I know all this technical stuff is like, all right, already. Let's go, girls.
I know.
Let's get our sexy on.
We are going to get our sexy on.
Yeah, this is a really exciting moment for us to come together, to share our wisdom around our bodies and share with you ladies, because any women in their body, in my experience, most women have, are we still recording? Yeah. Something around tension in the body that's keeping them from loving their bodies and feeling confident, and in the bedroom especially, which is what we're going to talk about today.
Exactly. Yeah. So here we go.
Here we go.
All right. So, my loves, let's get into this.
Yes, let's do it.
So, in my practice as a sex therapist and a sexuality coach, I hear so many women talk about how they can't relax, they can't surrender and let go to pleasure and to the moment because they're in their head and they're thinking about their body and becoming aware of these deep down insecurities that they have about their bodies.
Yes.
How about you?
And I have women in my Love Your Body, Love Yourself program and work that aren't even thinking about having sex because they can't even imagine allowing their bodies to be touched by another or be seen by another or have the lights on while they're having sex. It's such a jump for them to even go to that place. So that's why we're here together to share.
If any of this is true for you, just know that you're not alone. You are not alone if you avoid sex because you don't feel good about your body. You're not alone if you actually push pleasure away because you're consumed with ruminations about your body. You're not alone if you're not even dating or you're not even getting out there and trying to meet people because you feel like you want to lose some weight first or you want to look a certain way before you open yourself to love and to pleasure.
And you can't even find pleasure in your body because there's so much tension and there's so much negative self-talk and so much beating yourself up for what you look like that you're connected to yourself through what you look like rather than what your body feels like. You're definitely not alone.
Absolutely. So in our talk today, we're going to go for 30 minutes. We're going to give you 3 core essential sacred practices to help get you out of your head and into your pleasure body. And I'm going to drop some science on you because that's kind of the thing I like to do. And Marla and I are going to lead you in some sacred movement that I think will really begin to shift your experience of sexuality.
Yes. And so if you're in the right place for this, definitely save this video so you can come back to it if you're not. But if you can join us in this practice right now, when we come together in this field together, it's even more powerful when women gather.
Absolutely. So just right now, imagine all the women and the men, because I know some men are watching this as well, who are gathered in this spirit of bringing wholeness and bringing healthiness and strength and vitality and radical, wild, unbridled pleasure to your sexuality. So let's introduce ourselves.
Yeah. I'm Marla Mervis Hartman, and I'm the creator of Love Your Body, Love Yourself. And I have had a very dysfunctional relationship with my body and with food for many, many years. And pleasure and finding pleasure within my body and reclaiming my sexuality has been a big piece on healing this journey.
Yes, Marla is an absolute genius in this area. Please check out her TED Talk. I think you'll really love it. I'm Eva Clay, if you don't know me already, and I am a psychotherapist, I'm a sexologist, and a sex therapist and coach. So I do all things sexual.
She's a sexual powerhouse. amongst
wow,
other
amazing.
yes.
Marla is also a dear friend of mine, and we're going to be co-teaching in the Path to Pleasure program, which is something we're going to mention as we go through this talk to you, with you. Marla is teaching in the Bliss Retreat weekend, and she's just an absolute angel and a goddess. So stay tuned, stay with us, and let's dive in.
Let's do that.
So, here, sorry, bear with me. Okay. So if you experience these things that we just talked about, like being in your head or feeling contracted or fearful or shutting down pleasure because you don't feel good about your body, I want you to know that there's nothing wrong with you if you feel this way. And I think the science is really liberating and empowering to understand. And I think most of us, if you're watching this, you're probably familiar with the body's fight, flight, or freeze response, which now we actually call it the fight, flight, freeze, dissociate, or appease. So it's the way that your body helps you to survive in the face of a threat. So if you're in a threatening environment, the autonomic nervous system will click in and take over and initiate a series of changes in the body to help you to survive. So if I want you to imagine this, if you were walking down a street and somebody jumped out at you and said, "Hey, you're fat," or "Hey, you're ugly, you look terrible," what would you do? How would you respond to that? And like really imagine, how would you feel in your body? Mm-hmm. You might feel like alarmed or like that, and contracted and defensive. You might feel angry and try to hit them. You might want to just run away. You might shut down and freeze and like really go inside and internalize that message. And then that becomes a kind of working reality because someone else has just applied it to you. The same series of chemical changes happen in the body when we speak to ourselves this way. So we actually auto-trigger our own survival mechanisms when we speak unkindly or critically to ourselves. So some of those changes include tension, because your body is bracing itself and getting ready to fight or to run or, etc. Tension is the number one thing it does. Your heart rate increases. You might begin to sweat. Your thoughts might begin to race because your mind is looking for a solution and a way out to survive the situation. So when we have critical thoughts about ourselves, our bodies are going into a mild version of fight, flight, freeze, dissociate, and appease. And when you're trying to survive a potentially life-threatening situation, the last thing your body wants to do is get frisky. Like your body's like, no, like now's not a good time for sex because you're vulnerable. And like if you, lay down and start getting it on with somebody, you're going to get eaten by a saber-toothed tiger. You're going to be attacked. So the body will shut down the sexual arousal system. So for women, come to me so often, like every day, and say, I have no desire for sex. I have no libido. And one of the first things we do is we look at like, well, how are you speaking to yourself? And how might you be inadvertently, unknowingly activating your own stress response and actually like shutting down, turning down the dial on your sexual desire and arousal.
And I find that we do that so much as women. The other side of it, which is owning your body, loving your body, is actually not the norm. And this is so much of the norm. And what you're talking about, I feel like there's like this steady stream of negative talk, right? Where we actually think it's not that big of a deal to beat ourselves up, but it actually does. It's literally stealing your life force, stealing your ability to show up in your fullness and in your authentic self.
I love that, stealing your life force. If you really feel into it, it is draining your vitality to think this way. And as women, it's almost like taboo to think positively about yourself. There's sort of a women's club of, anytime you're in a women's restroom, let's say you're out at a club or a concert or whatever, a restaurant, you go into a women's restroom and you watch the women looking in the mirror.
Oh my gosh. And they're just like, oh my God. Oh no, I like your shirt. No, I don't look at it.
Look at my ass. Yeah, your ass is great.
No, it isn't. Oh my gosh. It's so what I ate yesterday. It's ridiculous.
There's sort of this like culture of self-criticism in order to belong to the women's club.
Bonding through bitching.
Is that what you call it?
That's what I heard someone say, and I love it. How about bonding through beauty? Bonding through beauty.
Bonding through
That's
beauty.
That's what we're doing here. We're like breaking the norm, ladies. Really. And it's in the small moments. It's not even in, I mean, it is in those moments, but it's like, it's a choice. The choice to look in the mirror. We can always find something to bitch about ourselves and find something we don't like. And we can always slow down and find something that we do like. It depends on where we want to put our focus.
Yes. I want to give you a high five on that.
Yeah.
Bonding through beauty. Get it. Let's get it.
Yeah.
All right.
So we were talking about we're talking about the tension, the fight, the freeze, and all of it. And it creates so much tension in the body. And often we hear about shifting our mindset, which I just mentioned to you. But what happens when there's too much story and there's just too much and your mind is like not a good place to be? You couldn't talk yourself out of liking your butt, talk yourself into liking your butt if you tried, right? So what we can do is we literally can release tension in the body. We can go to the body and ask the body to release it. So we're going to show you this practice, and we're going to shake, 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 shake. And after we shake, we're going to hold the breath, and this is really powerful for us to hold our sex organs and pull them up and in, and literally feel the energy go up and out of our body. And it's so powerful. You're going to love it. Do you have anything to say about that?
I do. It's so great. So one thing to know, like at the esoteric levels, this is a yogic teaching, is that whatever material you have in your upper chakras is going to kind of trickle down to rest in the pelvic bowl. And that's why our sexuality becomes such a repository of our unhealed wounds, and dark material and dark energies can store there in the sex organs. And so when we go to make love, it feels complicated. It feels entangled. It feels inaccessible. It feels difficult. And we have difficult feelings that arise when we're lovemaking. So this is a way to clear that energetic debris out of the sexual centers so that you can open yourself to more pleasure. And remember that the shaking that we're about to demonstrate for you, and I really hope that you can follow along. Remember, the shaking dispels tension, and it communicates to the nervous system that you're safe and that there's actually not a threat in the environment. And so we have to turn off that threat in order to fully relax and enjoy and allow sensation to circulate through the body.
And this is so powerful. And this is one of the many practices is going to happen in the Path to Pleasure program that, Evo, because we're just giving you nuggets, but she's going to dive deeper into the science and all of that, which is really, really cool.
Super. Yeah. And Marla's going to lead us in embodiment. By the way, Marla is also a yoga teacher, a Reiki master, a body worker, Tantra teacher, on and on. So she is a mom. So I think that's important,
Yeah.
Certainly. So she's very qualified to be leading us in this practice. Okay, ready?
So I just want to make sure we don't whack each other.
Okay.
So do you want to just maybe, I'm just going to move this back a little bit.
All right.
So what we're going to do is our breath is going to be pretty wild and chaotic. It's like my nose. So the breath is very, very quick, okay? And it's going to look like this. And we can do it right now. So we're going to bring our hands up in the air and shake. In and out through your mouth, and allow, so you're not just shaking your arms like this. You're literally in and out through the nose, and you're allowing your torso, you're moving your pelvis back and forth. Keep breathing and get it out. Shake, shake, shake.
Scream. Let the voice out. Yes. All the anger, just put it into the movement. Shake, shake, shake.
Shake, 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 shake. And inhale. And pull those sex organs, pull everything in, pull everything up. Up, 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 up.
Hold the breath.
Hold. And exhale. And again. Shake, 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 shake. Shake, shake, shake. Keep doing it. Shake, shake, shake. You're going to want to stop. Don't. Keep going. Shake. Shake your body.
All your thoughts out. shake the
there's
thoughts out.
a place that you're going to want to stop. Don't. Keep going. Keep going. And inhale. Hold. Pull all of it in.
Pull it up. Pull the sex organs
pull
up.
the sex organs
Pull
up,
all
up,
that
up,
material up, and out, and then exhale.
Ah. Slowly bring it down. But this is really the important piece too. I want you to bring your hands palms face up. Close your eyes. I want you to feel your body right now. Feel your heart beating. Feel your breath. Feel the life force. Feel the shaking, the tingling. This is you. This is your energy. This is your aliveness. Not the tension, not the story around your body not being perfect enough. This is you. And this is what you have access to. Ah, wonderful. How's everyone feeling? Feels good, right? It took us like what, not even 2 minutes? These practices are not, these practices aren't long. These practices are something that we can do in our lives, to keep up with ourselves and keep up with our lives so that we can be in a constant flow of pleasure.
And to be continually releasing this energetic debris from the body in the form of thoughts. To me, thoughts are energetic debris that clutter the body, the mind, the nervous system, the subtle energy body. And so when we disperse them, we expel them, we purge the thoughts from the body, and it clears a pathway, it clears a space inside of our psyche for us to then implant positive beliefs about ourselves.
I love that. Yeah, there's literally space in the body, right? There's space in the being. When we even come into that place of nothingness for just a moment, there is the breath that we can allow something more positive.
That felt so good.
Yeah.
Thank you, Marla.
You're welcome.
Okay. So let's move into the next point here. And I hear a lot of women say, and I want to say that I've actually experienced this quite a bit myself. Like when you say that you had a dysfunctional relationship with your body, I don't think that there are many women who are exempted from that. Like at some point we've certainly had to deal with this. And these are practices that I use every day. But one of the most common questions I get from women is, how do I turn my head off during sex? So I'm there, I'm lovemaking with my partner or my husband or whomever this is, and I just can't stop thinking about how terrible I look, or I've gained weight, or I have stretch marks now after the baby.
Yeah, that's a big one.
Something has happened, or usually there's a shift in their body or the way they see their body. This is another big one, and this might be a little bit controversial, but I'm going to say it, is I hear women say, my husband watches a lot of porn. And I don't look like those women.
Yeah. And then the fear of being seen in the body that they're in.
This is just a reality that I'm hearing, so I want to name it. So how do we turn down those critical voices and come back into sensation and enjoy sex during sex?
So how are we going to do that? We're going to show you.
We're going to show you. So this is really about how to focus on how you feel versus how you look. And it's coming to understand that your body is not for the male gaze. Your body was not built to please men. Your body was built to share your mission on the earth, to birth children, to bring light, to radiate light to the planet for so many beautiful, important reasons that you're here. So I want to help you begin to shift your focus off of how you look and ruminating on looking perfect. So one of my favorite practices is what we call self-petting.
I just want to say that what you just said is so important, because I really think it's so important for us women to reclaim our bodies and reclaim our sexuality, reclaim what we look like for ourselves. And so you couldn't say that enough. Yeah. Like for all of us to really take that in is really, and this practice that she's going to share with us is going to help us do that.
Okay, so there are two parts to this practice. One is the actual self-petting. Sometimes I call it a self-love shower. So it entails just simply using your hands to literally pet yourself. So literally trace your fingertips over the surfaces of your skin. And it's really lovely to close your eyes when you do this, because then you can direct all of your attention onto your sensations. Yeah, so Marla's going to keep demonstrating.
In the morning's nice to do this, I find.
In the morning, it's a wonderful wake-up practice to switch on all of these exquisite nerve endings that are alive just beneath the surface of your skin. So as you're doing this, try to stay out of any kind of habitual touch, like massaging or rubbing tension out of your body. Try not to do that. This is a very subtle practice and very tender practice. So I invite you to just stroke any part of your body in a way that you would touch a baby or a lover or a pet, with a lot of love and attention and care.
And I think it's really lovely to touch the parts of your body that you don't like what they look like, and actually give them love. Because sometimes you talk about disassociating. We often disassociate from the parts of our body that we don't like. And when we disassociate, we literally are not running energy through these parts of us. And so they're not going to, they don't listen to hate, they listen to love. Right?
So beautiful, so beautiful. Yeah, it creates a stagnation. Where there's tension, there's stagnation, and there's a lack of circulation and flow. So just gently touching these parts helps to open that up again. So as you're petting yourself and you're closing your eyes, please stay connected to your breath, and just keep going as we're talking. Stay connected to your breath. And I want you to find one part of your body that you maybe don't normally give attention to. Your elbows, your ears, your rib cage, any part of your body. And just spend a moment there stroking it very lightly. And I'd like for you to have a little conversation with this part of your body and thank it for its vital, essential function in your life. So thank you, hands. Thank you, hands, for reaching, for holding, for writing, for dancing, for enabling me to do all the things I love to do. It's not about how they look, it's about how they support you in fulfilling your mission. And then find another part of your body and just keep going. Shoulders, thanking shoulders. Heart, thanking heart. Neck, ears. Thank you, ears, for listening. For being able to hear the songs I love. For hearing the words around me. On and on. On and on. All the way, whole body. Nothing. Feet, ankles. You saw my socks.
Space behind your knees.
Space behind your knees, your toes. Not about how they look, but about how they help you balance so that you can walk and run and dance.
And that may not even, there's a, I'm just feeling into this thought that the old me would say. It was like, well, what does that have anything to do with me liking my body? It's shifting the focus. It's bringing love back to the body. And when we bring love back to the body, it infuses all aspects. It allows us to look at our body in a different way. We're reprogramming our thoughts. We're reprogramming how we live in this body from a place of pleasure rather than a place of beating ourselves up.
And from a place of how we look. So listen, we want to pick your attention up and out of how I look and onto how I feel. So this leads us to our third practice. Again, this is a wonderful practice to use actually while you're lovemaking. And again, coming back to the comment I made a few minutes ago about so many women complaining that they're with the partner and they can't relax and they can't receive their partner, their pleasure, because their mind is ruminating, the hamster in the wheel about how they look. And these are common stories we hear from women, like they leave the lights off, like they don't want to make love with lights on, or they leave their clothes on because they don't want to be seen. Or
just go through the motions and just like lie there and wait till it's over.
Well, in part because they're in freeze.
Mm-hmm.
They're in the freeze response. So how to unlock that? This is a wonderful practice called sensate focus. And I'm going to narrate for you out loud a kind of way of speaking to yourself when you're in any kind of sensory experience. And lucky me, Marla, we talked about this a minute ago, like, well, we're going to demonstrate on each other and who should be the one touching and who should be the one receiving. And we both agree she's good at touching and I'm good at feeling.
And as I'm sitting here like loving on myself, I'm like, I'm over here wanting to touch you, so it's perfect. Yeah.
Okay, so now in this practice, you're just really naming. You're naming and bringing into very clear awareness what's happening through your sensory channels.
So this is during sex, right?
Mm-hmm.
So when you're getting, when you're getting blocked in your head and you're feeling like you just left your body or you're freezing, mm-hmm. you allow the touch, mm-hmm. right? And then you start naming it.
Naming
right?
it inside your head. You can say it out loud too, but you can also say it inside. I'm feeling the coolness of her fingertips on my skin. I feel the pressure of her hands on my shoulders, and now she's squeezing my shoulders lightly. Oh, I like that. Mm. And a little faster now, and now I can feel her fingertips on my wrist. And oh, she's coming toward my neck. Oh, I hope she touches my neck. Oh, she did. Oh, I can feel the coolness of her fingers now on my throat and my neck. And this is really fun. It's like the most fun class I've ever taught. And, and on my chest, and I can feel her hands petting my hair. Gosh, and as I'm saying this, I can feel my whole body is relaxing. This is so incredible. It's so yummy. Mm-hmm. And now she's squeezing my shoulders together. Wow. Yeah. So I'm inside internally just opening the gates and allowing myself to fixate, to ruminate, to mesmerize even on the feel of her touch. And you know what? It does shut down my other thoughts.
Because you're focusing, you're really allowing yourself to focus mm-hmm. on the pleasure.
Mm-hmm. It's a quality of mindfulness. Truly. Okay. Oh, that's so
wonderful.
Fun. Thank you.
So yummy. And if you have any questions, go ahead and write them in. We'll go back and look at them and answer any of the questions that you have. And I'd love, if you would talk a little bit about the path to pleasure, because I'm sure everyone wants to hear how they can get even more of this goodness.
Yeah. So the practices we shared with you today are a really a culmination of mind, body, science, and esoteric principles. And that's exactly what the path to pleasure is. If you want to go deeper, if you're a woman, this is for people with vulvas, female identified people, and you want to unlock orgasm, if you want to resurrect your libido, if you want to redefine what sex means to you, and really get to reap all of the benefits of pleasure, which includes a lot of power and confidence and self-esteem, I would love for you to check it out at thepathtopleasure.com, thepathtopleasure.com. And we're about to get started in about a week here. So we're in the home stretch. Please join us. It's a fantastic program. Been doing it for 5 years now. And all of these methods, again, based in science and esoteric principles. And you'll get to have more of Marla, which who doesn't want more of Marla? So please join us. And I would love for you to talk about where people can find you.
Yeah, you can find me at loveyourbodyloveyourself.com. If you have any questions or you need any more support around your body, please, I can help you.
Yes, very much. Okay. We love you.
Love you.
Bye.
Have a pleasureful day.
Enjoy.
Bye.
Bye.